item would be personnel, we have many of them.
Yeah, so this evening I thought I'll run through these. If you have any questions, feel free to, with the length of them and talking through this mess, I'm going to ask for one approval at the end tonight. Okay?
Yes.
So Anna Susdorf and Dana LaPel resigned from middle school cross country. Mike Holtz resigned from middle school baseball. Victoria Vandabunti is our new English teacher at the middle school. We're going to scratch that next one because unfortunately in middle school baseball we don't have enough kids to field the team as much as we've tried right now, and so we're going to scratch through that one.
That is un-American.
It is. That broke my heart worse than anything.
I'll play.
We'll get to you, yeah. Stretch you out the job. Next, Brian rehired Vicki Thompson as the high school secretary. Connor Scroggins' resignation as tech director. He's moving on from us to RAMC. But we have identified Jacob Kishkowski to replace him as tech director. Dave Berger will be doing a vocational bus for us after Annie's retirement. And that'll be, while A.K. Smith is on a hybrid model, that'll just be Mondays and Tuesdays until further notice on that. Hired Carly Killen as a high school health aide. She has experience coming to us recently from actually the Westville prison and does have credentials. I've listed David Moore on there as part-time athletic director. That's because it is becoming part-time. We've kind of reconfigured job duties and he's stepping a little further back. And so between me, him, and Brian, we adjusted compensation there to fit what he's going to be doing for us. So he's on there. Haley Smith is our new 5th grade teacher. You had given approval to use the CARES Act money to split that large 5th grade group. So she's a first-year teacher in that role. Jamie Dunn as a paraprofessional here at Wanata. Will Pryor to coach middle school softball. Loudon Becker as middle school softball assistant. Rodney Cox volunteering with middle school softball. Heather Linda as middle school cross country. Ashley Eagle, her resignation from middle school volleyball. But our ag teacher, Warren Yaks, has volunteered to help us with that middle school volleyball position. And then Tricia Wozniak will be assisting her as middle school volleyball. So if there aren't any questions with those, I'm looking for approval for the personnel list as presented.
I'll make the motion to approve the personnel list.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Thank you.
About half of the cross-country gals resign.
No, if you remember when we had outward brush with the coronavirus, it was middle school cross country. So I think quite a bit of it has to do with Anna, a young mom, and a little skittish to get back in that atmosphere for this year.
Gotcha.
And so they just felt more comfortable trying to gear up and be ready for the school year.
Gotcha.
Next item, the claim docket.
I went through individually on the claim docket, and I had one edit to make there because we just had a typo on that ad tech, and that reads, because my chicken scratch is so bad, that reads E-rate phase 3. So you see my handwriting on there.
How did the roof repair go?
Very well.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. We've, the little spots that we had leaks before, so far not.
Good.
I make a motion to approve the claims docket.
We have
Says the farmer.
We have one motion by Aaron, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Balance sheet. We need some rain. Are there any questions by the board on the balance sheet? Now we'll move on to public comments. Are there any public comments this evening? Then we'll move on to item 7, updated school reentry plan.
Well, as you're all aware, the update is we are phasing in starting Monday. Bringing our pre-K second grade in all next week. The second week, the next week after that, 3 through 5 in the high school join us. And then the third week, right after Labor Day, our middle school joins us. And it is timing up very nicely with what my expected arrival on training equipment. We have the one spraying machine that arrived here from Wanatah. We are still back ordered on the backpack spraying fogging machine for Katie at the high school. We have some signage. We have most of the barriers. You might want to look at the main office on the way out and see how we've got that configured. That worked out really nicely. So we still have a few more items coming in, and but just looking for approval of that most recent update to the school reentry plan.
Make a motion to approve the updated school reentry plan.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Feedback pretty good.
May I say something really quick? And I want to thank Mr. Shepherd, Mr. Gabriel, Mr. McMahon. You guys did a lot of work. I don't think people realize what goes on. And thank you for giving, I know you only care about the kids and the community, and you're doing the best thing you can. So thank you for
I
that.
appreciate that greatly. I will say, wait till I get the busing pulled off for Monday, and then you can pat me on the back.
Yeah.
Anybody have a CDL sitting here right now?
I don't have public task here, so.
I think I've got it figured out. It's gonna be a tag team with me and Dave Berger. I think we can make it happen, so.
You on?
Ever drive the bus or have a desire to?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Now, Jim, he'd be another story.
There you go.
And then-
He already volunteered to go as an aide if he could get in and out better.
Yeah.
So, didn't he, Jack?
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did.
But he used to drive, you know that.
And Darren down here asked about other feedback too from the community. And we did get a little positive feedback. You know, it's never the same volume as the original outcry, but that's okay. But when you hear them, it does mean a lot, so.
I like your plexiglass.
Yes, so that is one example right there of we've got the plexiglass cut there with the pass-through underneath for the lunch tray return. We have that all along the kitchen here, so that there's that, you know, we've got a lot of good safety stuff in place.
You'll have graphics on Friday.
So apparently I'll have the remaining amount of my graphics and signage on Friday, so we're in good shape.
Qualified supplier.
Somewhat qualified.
It was good pricing.
Oh, that's good.
On to the next item then, for information tonight, I've got the quote list included in here for an option should we ultimately choose to go that path. If we decide we want either extra covered space to use for students for social distancing, or covered space to use possibly for storage to create space inside the building. A couple ways we can go with that, but that's one short-term solution is a kind of an event tent, and that's what that quote is for. And then closely on the heels of that would be a much longer-term solution for us as far as modular classroom space. So that if need be, hopefully we can keep this train on the tracks through the winter months. That tent then won't be a suitable option because it's not going to be rated for snow load. So, but if in the meantime we decide that's working very well for us, if we go that route, modular classroom space to transition into to create more options for us.
Would that also be utilized for like isolation space for some reason if we have this situation or challenge?
Yes, and that is, we are tight on that in both spaces.
Yeah.
So we've emptied out our old PLTW room to use for positives, concerns, till screening happens. So we've got it set up the way we've been directed to, the guidance given to us. But that it takes away a classroom out of the hallway where we could have spread out classes and gotten that full 6 feet where we wanted it. So, yeah.
The quote for the 10, is that per month? Or is that a certain, that's a monthly?
That's a monthly, yes. Yeah. And so I'll speak a little bit on that. Since we finally recently heard from FEMA, now I'll feel better when I get more in writing from FEMA, but it sounds like we have a very strong reimbursement on the horizon for FEMA on these types of things that are COVID related, up to as much as a 75% reimbursement for qualifying expenditures. I just want to see those qualifying expenditures in writing. As I see all your heads nodding, yeah, that makes us all feel better too.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, those were both information, temporary tent solution, modular classroom, which would benefit us throughout the entire school year.
Could I have a question?
Yeah.
How would a tent be secured?
So it's an event tent, they're staked in the ground. And actually that's something I want to show the board. One of the things I want them to have some time to look at this evening, since we all are here, and there's really no other way to do it. But a 30 by 60 tent would fit right on the end of the basketball court out there, and it can be staked into asphalt, or it can be staked down into the ground, depending on where we would want to put it. The only place it couldn't be staked is in the concrete. And then at that point, it's rated for wind speeds of up to 70 miles an hour. Now, a couple of weeks back, had we had it sitting there, we'd have probably been picking it up out of the field. So a storm like that, that's not what it's for. But certainly, your typical weather, a little bit of rain that might keep kids off the playground and have us too crowded in the gym or the lunchroom, it could be utilized. I mean, that's 1,800 square feet. And it could be utilized for overflow, small group instruction, recess that has to get moved so we can spread out lunches. So
Yeah, but you called it storage.
that's another option. If we instead decided we just want to store excess furniture and desks to free up room in here, we could choose to use it that way.
I can't see how that would work.
Okay.
The people around here, anywhere, I mean, you know.
Oh, concerns about safe security? I
Yeah.
got you. I see what you're saying.
The circus clowns that come with them, they'll watch you.
That's right.
Put a German Shepherd or a government picture inside or
Yeah.
something maybe.
And that's a
Pit
very,
bulls.
that is a very good point, but with the things I'm thinking of, I wouldn't think there'd be too much of a, we wouldn't be putting computers or electronics, but like excess, and maybe we decide we've got too many lunch chairs and tables, and there's too many metal bookshelves in a classroom, and we need the space, that sort of thing. You might be right.
I'm not-
Yeah, that's why I've got it listed as
There's
a,
always somebody.
an either or, yeah. Okay. Next on the list is something I need approval for. I believe this would amount to the third reading for the board on the non-certified salary schedule. And I am looking for approval tonight, pointing out that the most recent modification was in getting our new technology director hired. With that gentleman coming out of Indianapolis with experience, we're lucky to get him at the price point listed. But at the same time, that had to create a little bit of, the market dictates the pay scale to a certain degree. And so that was the only adjustment since your last reading of this. So I'll be looking for approval on that.
Make a motion to approve the non-certified pay scale.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I personally would like to abstain from two on the building treasurer and the deputy treasurer, but I approve the rest of the individuals.
Thank you very much. We will make note of that. So, next item on the list, since our senior class lost out on the opportunity for their senior class trip, and through the years they had fundraised to have, I don't have the exact figures, but in the $4,000 range to put towards a senior class trip. We did some checking to figure out how can we what can we do on their behalf for them. And so direction from the State Board of Accounts was that we could basically distribute those funds to the senior class in a manner that would be useful to them. So, but their direction was have a resolution from the school board on what you're paying each senior. So it's a one-time kind of a solution to this pandemic-related loss that those kids incurred. And so the resolution is to distribute the senior class money to the 39 seniors, each one of them getting $100. And so this resolution would be you authorizing Judy to make that happen.
Make a motion to approve the resolution to distribute class funds to seniors elementary.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
And then I think that'll leave a nominal amount behind in there, and that will get moved into the student activities fund, which benefits any high school student. Basically, superintendent and principal reports tonight are that we are surviving to this point, and we feel better today than we did a week ago about where we're at for Monday and the following weeks. We like the plan that we ultimately landed on, and it's going to be an adventure. This week we spent a lot of time with our school nurse, Allison, and now today she got to meet the high school nurse aide, and they spent the day together. We did a lot of reconfiguring spaces to use in case we have positive cases. But basically, and I do think I'll speak for the staff and employees, but everybody that's gotten the feedback on campus, I think has breathed a sigh of relief and is excited to have kids come and try to do this thing and grasp for any amount of normalcy that we can have. So that's a good current update for today. So If you don't have any questions on anything, building or corporation wise,
SA5 report. We have a motion by the board for the approval of SA5 for 1 and 12 LaCrosse.
I'll make a motion to approve the SA five reports for LaCrosse and
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
who seconded that, I'm sorry. Thank you.
And then do I have a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.